Finding clients is one of the hardest things that you will ever do in life and in business. When I first started out in business, back in 2017, my day one plan was to go door to door and talk to every single client that I could. Basically just go in my neighborhood, knock on their door, hand them a business card, say, hey, my name is Alan, I'm doing handyman work. Do you have anything that I could do today? Right? Luckily, I told that to a trusted advisor, about a month before I started, and he looked at me and he said, that's a horrible idea. He's like, you should at least have a week's worth of work set out before you go full time. So I really had to dig deep and figure out how to find customers. So, I've shared this story before on here that I started investing in Yelp. I paid $300 on Yelp, and that was simply by guesswork. It happened to work really well for me, but it was because, when I needed to find something, I looked on Yelp, and so I started investing on Yelp. I've definitely done a whole lot of things wrong in my career as a handyman as far as marketing goes and finding clients and spending money on the wrong things and spending money on the right things. So my hope for this video is to kind of shed some light on that. And really, what would I do if I went back today? If I started out today as a handyman, what would I do? Where would I invest my money? And I kind of created a good list of what I would do. Hey friends, welcome to day 26 of my 100-day video challenge. I'm super stoked that you are here. This is my second day of, you can say, pre-baby leave. My wife has been super sick lately, so I decided to take a week or two off of work. So hence making this video at home, because I got to stick to my 100-day video challenge. So bear with me on that, but basically this whole thought or ethos of this 100-day video challenge is to kind of go back to when I first started out in business, sharing some stories, sharing some thoughts, sharing some failures, and some successes, and comparing and contrasting that to where I am now. Today, when you see this video, it will be October 9th, Monday, October 9th, 2023. I started out full-time January 1st, 2017. Before that, I did about 3 or 4 months part-time. So, like I said, I have tried a whole lot of things marketing-wise. I've tried advertising on the radio. I've tried, brochures. I've tried yard signs. I've tried door knocking. I've tried, creating those little flyers and putting them on people's windshields. I've tried a little bit of everything. A lot of stuff didn't work. Some stuff did. Some stuff I still do today. I'll kind of let you guys know where I'm currently at, and then I'll go back to where I would start if I was to start today. So what I currently do for marketing is we invest heavily. So the majority of our marketing is done on Google. So we invest about $1,000 on Google pay-per-click ads. And again, I'm not a marketing genius. So to find some more information about marketing and to get a contact with the guy that I use for marketing, go to handymanmarketingpros.com. I almost said Handyman Web Design. That's their old branding. Now they're Handyman Marketing Pros because they've really stepped it up. They used to just do websites. Now they do websites, SEO, articles, advertising, everything. So fantastic. Talk to Jason Call over there. Tell him that Alan sent you over. He is an absolutely fantastic guy. He does all my marketing. Like, I don't really even know much about that whole genre of stuff. I pretty much do whatever he tells me to do. So he's a fantastic guy. Okay, so we invest quite a bit of our stuff on Google pay-per-click. And then I think we have $600 on Google LSA, which is local service ads. Again, don't ask me the difference between pay-per-click and local service ads. I'm not the guy for that. Talk to Jason at handymanmarketingpros.com. You can actually set up a free call with him. Go to handymanmarketingpros.com and set up a free call with him. It'll be well worth your time. You will learn so much just in the free call alone. Would highly recommend it. So that's where we invest most of our money. We also currently do $300 on Yelp a month, and that's when we first started out. We invested $300 a month on Yelp. It works really well in our area. Yelp is not for everyone. Some people will say Yelp is a ripoff. Yelp doesn't work. It really depends on your location and where you're at. Yelp is really stepping it up as far as attracting new clientele and making it more worthwhile and things like that. Jason, my marketing guy, he told me to start investing $300 on Yelp because that has worked well for me in the past. So our marketing budget is consisted of Google is probably the big, big thing, and that's pay-per-click and LSA, and then Yelp, which is quite a bit smaller. And then we also have a bunch of print stuff. So we have brochures that we print out, we have magnets that we print out, we have obviously our t-shirts, we have all of our trucks are decaled, which is massive. We have yard signs that we put out everywhere. We have yard signs that we put out at clients' houses. So that's kind of like in a nutshell what we do for marketing. At this point, you know, the longer you go, so marketing, when you first start out, it's hard because it takes 90 days for marketing to even start paying off. So really what you got to do is you got to keep investing into that marketing, even though you're not seeing much return, in hopes that it will kind of catch up. And it's kind of like a snowball. Starts out small, but as it keeps rolling, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger because your branding grows. And that's really what you want to eventually create. So that kind of leads me into what I would do today if I was to start all over again. So the first thing that I would do, obviously I would get a business license, get general liability insurance, and start doing work. But the first thing that I would do, maybe even before I went full-time, even when I was doing it part-time, is I would get a free Google My Business. I don't think it's called Google My Business anymore. Just Google, you know, Google My Business, and you'll figure it out. Again, that's not my expertise, but that's what I would do. I would create a free Google My Business account because that does quite a few things for you. That will establish your domain in the interwebs, right? That's like a you know, Google is the #1 search engine in the world. So by getting yourself on Google will get you placed in a map pack and get you the ability to start getting reviews. And that's really where that snowball starts taking into effect. You get, you know, first off, you're just some Joe Schmo on Google, right? But you get your first review and that snowball starts forming. You get your second, third, fourth, fifth, 20th review, and that snowball is building. And as you get, you know, 50, 60, 100 reviews, that snowball is growing very large, and you are starting to rank much higher on Google organically. So I would definitely get a free Google My Business. I would get a free Yelp account. You don't necessarily have to pay for Yelp. I would get a free Nextdoor account. I would get a free Facebook business page account. I would get a free Instagram account for your business. Anything you can do for free, get it, because all of these different platforms are you know, they may not be paid advertising, right? They may not be bringing in actual work at the time, but what they're doing is they're creating and establishing a brand, making that snowball bigger so that, you know, years down the road, we're 7 years into this thing, our snowball has grown quite large, where it's kind of, there's a lot of organic stuff happening. And then the last thing that I would do is get a website from Jason Call over at handymanmarketingpros.com. I can't stress that highly enough. You need a website. A website is kind of like your own personal street address online. So you definitely need a website because all of your Google My Business, all your Yelp, everything is going to point back to your website. And what I would recommend is getting a website with a lead capturing device on it. So you go to our website, you could check it out at honestlyhandyman.com, and at the very top you click get a quote, get a free quote or get an estimate, whatever it's called. And it takes you to a form where you enter in your name, your, you know, a little message, your email address, whatever it is, and that automatically gets logged into our CRM, which is currently Mark8. We're actually switching over to Service Fusion. Side note, I'm going to be making a video on the reason why we're switching over to Service Fusion. So if you would like to hear that, drop a comment in the comment section below. I want to kind of gauge the interest on hearing, you know, if you'd like to see a video on why we're switching to Service Fusion. It's kind of interesting, but I still recommend Mark8 for guys starting out. Okay, back to the marketing story here. So definitely get a website that has that capability of capturing a lead right there on your website, because that gives you the ability to capture a lead even at midnight, 2 a.m., whatever it is. You're not sitting there by the phone, but the leads are still coming into your email or your CRM, whatever it is. So I would highly recommend against a Wix website. If anything, you know, Google offers free websites. I wouldn't go Wix. I would go, you know, Google, but I would talk to Jason Call over there at Handyman Marketing Pros. But if you can't afford that, at least get a Google free website. I'll try and link some links in the description below for that, but to be honest, just better just to talk to Jason. You can set up a free call with Jason. He will give you all this information, you know, when you go over that. Okay, so that's what I would do if I was to start out today. I would get all those free accounts. I would get a website. And then as soon as I could, I would start investing at least $500 on Google. Just paid per click Google. If you don't know how to do that, Jason will help you out. But I know I'm really pushing Jason here. This video is not sponsored. I think of him very highly in the marketing category. Whenever I think about marketing or advertising, I just think of Jason. So I would highly recommend you invest at least $500 on Google when you can, and then move up from there. You know, raise your ad spend as your business grows, but that's probably the first place that I would recommend you start investing. You know, obviously you can invest cheaper. You can spend $100 a month on Google, but from my experience and what Jason has told me is that Google works best if you do at least $500. So that would be my recommendation. That's probably where I would start if I was just starting this thing out. I would also invest in brochures. The brochures that we have been really beneficial. You know, for the fact that we also have a multi-point inspection on that brochure, where we do that at every job, or we attempt to do that at every job. It sometimes does not work out. And basically that's kind of a way where we can walk through that list with the client, walking through the different categories, you know, around their house, like whether it's kitchen faucets or smoke detectors or dryer vents or whatever, and basically recommend services as needed. So that's been super helpful there. It also has, you know, on one side it has kind of our story and our mission statement, and then a picture of our family. So it's kind of just a cool, like, get to know me brochure. You know, we've kind of liked that. So and then yard signs have been super beneficial as well, because when you're thinking about marketing spend and spending money on marketing, you want to think about, will this help grow my brand or not? So yard signs are huge. I would recommend putting a yard sign out at every single job that you do. So when you leave the job, you know, ask the client, hey, do you mind if we drop a yard sign in your yard and pick it up in about 2 weeks? Most of the time, clients are perfectly fine with that. They say, oh yeah, that's great. Occasionally, people won't allow you because of an HOA, and that's fine. You know, you just go on to the next one. But if you're not putting a yard sign out, I think you're really missing out on an opportunity for establishing that brand. Because by putting that yard sign in someone's front yard, that person is recommending you to their neighbors, to people walking their dog by. They're like, oh wow, honestly, Handyman's been here, like, let's check him out, right? This guy must recommend him. We even had a few, we put some yard signs out in some strategic places around the city for some clients that we worked for, like people that live on corners or whatever. You know, like, we reached out to these people and we wanted to put a yard sign out. And one lady in particular, she actually just moved to a new house, but she was saying she had so many people stop by and ring her doorbell and ask about us, which is fantastic. Like, that's really what we want. So that was kind of cool, just to hearing the results from the yard signs, and we still do that to this day. And yard signs are definitely very helpful, a very good thing that you can do. So another thing, just an interesting story of something that we tried for a couple months, is we did advertise on the radio. We advertised on Christian radio that was local to our city. And the results from that were quite interesting. I think we did it for about 4 months. It's something that I would do again, but as our business grows. So there's a few things in advertising world that aren't necessarily like bringing direct clients to you, if that makes sense. So I was talking to Jason the other day, and he has a term for these things, and I don't know. I'm not a marketing guy, but so there's certain ad platforms that actively get people that are looking for a handyman. So for example, Google, right? Google is the #1 search engine in the world. So the way that pay-per-click works is people search on there, you know, handyman near me, right? Wherever that is. And Google, they will promote your business because they know that you're a handyman, and they will put you higher up in the search engine if you pay them, right? That's how it works. And then they go and they click you because they're looking for a handyman, and they hire you. That's how Google works. Whereas Facebook is a little bit different. That's more brand-centric. People don't go on Facebook and say, handyman near me. They're just scrolling mindlessly on Facebook, and then they happen to see your ad on Facebook, and they're like, maybe I could use a handyman, right? So they're getting people that are not actively looking for a handyman, but they're just passively scrolling, right? And that's the same thing with radio. People don't go on the radio asking for a handyman or looking for a handyman. They just happen to hear a handyman's commercial, and they're like, maybe I need a handyman. Or next time I need a handyman, I'll give him a call. I'll write his number down. So it's kind of like more Facebook and radio are more like brand awareness rather than like engaging with actual people that are actively looking for a handyman, if that makes sense. And again, Jason had terms for these, scientific marketing terms, which I do not. So, so that was an interesting thing about marketing on the radio. I would do it, but I would wait till our business is a little bit bigger. It was $750 a month, and we got, I even forget how many we got. I want to say we got on there maybe 11 times a week. So they would pump our ad out 11 times a week. I think that's about right. So they had strategic days that they put it out based on listenership and things like that. The other, con to radio is that our radio station, obviously, it reaches a broader area than what we service. So for instance, Elk Grove is about an hour, it could be about an hour away from where we're at, depending on traffic. And traffic is horrible going that way, so that's why we don't go that way. But the radio broadcasts all the way out to Elk Grove. So there was people in Elk Grove hearing our ad and calling us for handyman services. So that was bringing in people that weren't our ideal client. We couldn't help them out. And we were, in essence, wasting our time talking to them and saying, sorry, we can't help you. Because we don't have Google ads set out to that area. But the radio reaches that area. So what could you do? I would say that it would be really beneficial as you grow and you're able to service all of those areas and kind of tackle that workload. But all in all, radio was really fun. It was kind of cool creating the radio ads, and I think it's really good for brand awareness because people may not have bought from us already. I mean, we got quite a few clients from the radio, but people may have not hired us yet for the radio, but they may still have our name written down. They may still have us in the back of their head like, oh, that guy was on the radio station I listened to, and I'm going to call him next time I need him. So that's the cool thing about radio, and I think if you continue to do it year after year after year after year, you're going to become the well-known, trusted brand. I think that's why we all still remember the jingles from people that advertised on TV from when we were kids, right? Because it's like they were always on. And we may have never hired them, but we remember the jingle of their phone number or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of brand awareness and establishing yourself as the well-known guy in your area. So that's a little tidbit about what I would do if I was to start all over again on marketing, contrasted with what we currently do. I hope you guys learned a little bit from this. I would love to hear a little bit about your business and what you guys do for marketing, and anything that you maybe took away from this video. Drop that in the comment section below. Commenting and engaging really helps this video get seen. Also liking and subscribing to this channel. This has been day 26. Tune in tomorrow for day 27. We're going to be talking more about getting clients and the problem with that. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you guys in the comment section below.